All right, it is Thursday, February 15th, about 12 p.m. on the West Coast, and I just finished my session for today. 2-0 today, pretty good day. My first trade was on my PA number 2, and I copy traded to evaluation 31 as well. Picked up that first trade pretty early in the morning, somewhere close to 7:20 in the morning or so, and then late in the day on a different chart, on this chart, got a second trade on my evaluation number 23. So that was my second trade, 1-0 on that account. And so PA2 made about $100 and Eval 31, same on that first trade. And then on the second trade, made $313 on that one trade. And that one I did with 3 contracts, and I actually got about double the amount that I normally get on my scalps for the amount of ticks I go for. And I'll talk about that a little bit in this video about what I did to be able to capture a larger scalp, even though at minimum I would have made my typical scalp pretty much. So let me talk about that in a few minutes. 71% discount still going on from Apex if you're looking to pick up any evaluations. And the 1-day pass is running right now through, I think it's Wednesday of next week. And for anyone that hasn't watched me before, checking me out for the first time, I live stream every day between 9:45 and 12:30 East Coast time. For me, I'm on the West Coast, so it's 6:45 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And then lately I've been trading later for various reasons than that. So today, like I said, I just finished right now, so it's basically 3 p.m. on the East Coast when I finished today. And I'm just documenting my trading journey using Apex accounts. I've got currently 2 PA accounts. One of them is getting close to a payout. You can see 51,880 is the current balance. And then I have a second PA account that I just started a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And it's currently just slightly under the starting balance. And both of those accounts, I had 4 losses last week. So both of those accounts took a hit and a step backwards. And right now the PA number 2 is almost back to where it was before I took whatever losses I took on the account. So I think one more trade will get me a little bit more green than where I was before I took those losses last week. So have almost completely erased the losses. So let's see, what else can I say? I'm trading on NQ, and basically I start off my day, I look for 3 or 4 charts of NQ where my entries for my profit target are consistently working. I try to find 4 charts where I have charts where they work every time. There's no would-be losses if I would have taken a trade. And I just try to trade off of those charts and use the statistical advantage of knowing that the chart is running hot for that session. And I try to just, for me, take the best entries knowing that the chart is working so far for the day. And if a chart gets an entry that turns into a loss, whether I take it or not, I stop trading that chart and I trade the other charts I have. And today, I started off with 4 good charts, and in pretty quick order, I started getting charts that had losses. I was skipping trades for one reason or another. But I still did have this first chart that I worked on that when I took my first trade, it was still no losers, obviously, because I wouldn't have traded otherwise. Got the win. And then there were some other entries that I could have taken after that. I didn't trust them. When I'm trading my PA, I'm trading a little bit tighter, and I'm not taking every entry that I necessarily can, even though the chart's running hot. There are times where I can do that and probably should do that at some point. So I'm just picking and choosing right now, especially with my PAs. If I get a number of trades early on with my PAs, and typically I want to get like 2, maybe 3 trades for each PA, so I won't trade them together. So I'll trade like PA2 with an evaluation copied to it. If I can get 2 or 3 in a row, then I'll switch to PA6. And if I can get 2 or 3 in a row, then I'll turn off the PAs and lock in the profit, and then I'll just trade evaluations. And the other thing I do is I won't trade my PAs after about 9 to 9:30 in the morning on the West Coast. So if I don't get any trades, or if I only get one trade, or whatever the case may be, when that time comes, I just switch to evaluations only. So today, here, let me take this off the screen. So yeah, again, today, only 2 trades. If I can imagine that these were all PA accounts, that would be a pretty good day. But just the one PA account for now, and then trying to hopefully pass some evaluations in the near future. So let me turn this off and talk about today. So when I started today, this chart had no losses on it, and I started about right around 7 o'clock today. It was a little bit late. So 6:55, 7 o'clock, I started around here. We had already had what looked to me, like basically almost a measured move down here. So, I wasn't really looking for shorts necessarily. Like, it wasn't really clear, because you could also measure this like this, and you can say, okay, it was 2 legs down with a 3rd leg down that made a new extreme. So either way, I was kind of thinking like to the downside might be over. But I'd already, I think I skipped something right when I started. Let me see. Yeah. Here, I skipped actually like 2 that I just didn't trust, a long and a short. Just didn't trust it. It was all stacked up. I wasn't going to take it down there. And so, but when we came up here, I liked this trade because it hadn't lost yet. And it to me, what was my reason? It was kind of like there was enough room to the EMA that even if it was going to go higher, I still thought it would work. There was no losses on the chart yet. And I actually was wanting this to set up a little bit higher, closer to the previous day close, which is this purple line, because I like to trade off of that. I like to trade off of the previous day close. I like to trade off the open or previous day high, or those sorts of things. But it was pretty close, and I was pretty confident that I had enough room to get my small 11 tick scalp, and and it worked. So I took that on PA2 and evaluation 31, and then all through this, I just didn't see anything I trusted enough to take. There were actually a number of entries that would have worked, but they just all looked pretty bad to me, honestly. And there was one here. I considered going short here. But the thing I didn't like about this one was just that it looked like there was 1 leg down and 2 legs down. And so really, it seemed like the downside was played out. Also, if we were going to make a new extreme of that, you already had 2 attempts to do that, and it didn't work. So I chose to skip this one, and it actually would have worked for my profit target. But as you can see, the prices continue to go higher overall at that point. And I think that's because, my analysis of this was probably correct. So I think it was a good trade to skip, even though it worked. And it just shows you that on NQ, it's more forgiving, right? Your context for the trade might be wrong, but you'll still get your profit target if you're just going for small scalps. And it depends how small or big you are going for. But for me, I go for 11 ticks, and it seems to be pretty forgiving, where you can get 11 ticks even if you're not really right about the direction of where price is going. So anyway, then at about this time, around 8 o'clock, I got word that I had to get my daughter ready for school, and I was going to have to take her to school today, which I wasn't planning on. So I stopped trading, and I was away for all of this. And I didn't get back until about 9:15. And by the time I got back, not much longer, there was a short trade on this chart. Let me see, where was it? Yes, here. there was a short trade here. I was back for this. I had just gone back and I had measured this measured move up, and there's no losses on the chart still at this time. But this looked like one of those situations where I wanted this first candle to be a really good signal bar for a short off of the previous day close, and it didn't happen. And then the next bar engulfed it. And because I had the measured move up with still some room to go, and there was no reason to think that it couldn't move up to the opening price, or at least the measured move. I also don't like to take engulfing bars. That's where most of my losses have come from. As you can see, I've got 17 losses in 2024, and I don't know how many of them, but quite a few of them are engulfing entries. I think I had like 3 engulfing entries last week alone that were losses. So I'm trying to stay away from them. And so given that, I decided not to trade it, and it's a good thing I didn't, because that would have turned into a loss. And so that was the first loss on this chart for the day. And once a chart gets a loss, I don't trade it anymore. So then I switched over to another chart that had, it actually had a loss. Here, let me bring it up. This chart actually had a loss like back in here somewhere. And, but then it had like only wins all the way through all of this. Like, I think I had 3 or 4 wins in all of there. So I kind of felt good about this chart. I was staying on late. By this time, by 9:30, I won't trade my PA anymore. So I switched to evaluation number 23. And what I did was I switched over to a different workspace where I have a couple configurations to play a runner on my evaluations. On my PA account, I just go for my scalp and play it safe and just go for that very small amount of profit and take what I can get, and that's how I like to trade my PAs right now. But on my evaluations, I'm willing to trade with more contracts and with a runner. And so what I did on this one, it's a 50K account. It's below the starting balance. I don't have my full drawdown. I decided, because I don't have a big drawdown, at the time it was like, I don't know, I'd have to go back and look during the live stream video that I have on YouTube. But I think I was at like 12 or 13, 1400, something like that in drawdown. So I didn't want to go bigger contracts necessarily. So I decided to go with 3 contracts. And what I'm testing out right now is a way to use an auto stop strategy where the auto stop trails a small distance behind where price is. And when it reaches a target, that's where the auto stop moves from my full stop below my entry candle to start trailing it up once it reaches a certain profit target. So this one worked really nicely today. Usually I go for 11 ticks. I got 23 ticks. And instead of having it only on one contract where I got the extra ticks on like a runner, this is all 3 contracts getting all the extra ticks. So I got 12 extra ticks for each contract, which essentially is like getting a second trade, right? So I doubled the amount of ticks I usually get on one trade. I doubled it, and I doubled it on 3 contracts. So I didn't have to risk, going to like a 4th contract to trade 1 contract as a runner. And if I did trade it as a runner, I would have got stopped out before. I've got stopped out at break even +1 before I got any runner anyway. So I would have just got the 3 contracts for 11 ticks each, and then a break even +1 contract. So it actually worked out this time where I got more ticks doing it this way than I would have playing a runner contract. So this is something that's very interesting to me. I'm going to continue to test it out. I have tested it out on back testing and playback, and it's worked pretty well. But I've done it just very, very few limited times on Apex so far. And I've even gotten less than my scalp that I try to get. Typically I try to lock in 11, and doing this, there were a couple times I got like 6 ticks, I got 9 ticks. So I don't really want to give up that amount of ticks, but if I can more consistently get like 23 ticks, or even if it's just 15 ticks or 16 ticks, that all adds up over time. So this is something I'm very interested to continue to try. And I was happy with it today. And I like the trade today because it was one leg down, two legs down. It came all the way down. It looked like a really steep sell off. And then this bar became really bullish, finished over the EMA, bounced off the previous day high, which is, you can't see it, but this red line is the previous day high, which is lined up exactly with the opening price of today. And so I like to use that as like a support as well. And just my overall analysis was that I didn't think this would turn into a bearish bar today. I think it felt like we would stay up here was what I was thinking. So I didn't think we were going down. I thought we were probably going more up. And so, yeah, that worked out. And it just turns out we're kind of in this tight range to finish off the day so far. So, yeah, that was great. Really happy. Basically, it's like getting two trades in one for me on that account. And so for all those reasons, I really like that trade. Trading way later, this trade was at 11:15. By the time I entered on this bar, 11:20 just about. So way later than I typically want to trade, but I was happy I stuck around for it to be able to test out this auto stop strategy and pick up a nice kind of bonus win on one trade. So that's really going to be it for me today. Again, every day I'm live streaming between these times. I've been doing that for a couple weeks now. And again, 2-0 for today. And yeah, it's a good day. I'm 68-17 for the year so far, 80%. 9-1 for the week, which for me, for anyone that's been following me, 10 trades in a week is great for me. And now I'm getting pretty consistently about 10 trades a week. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but to be at 10 trades and have one loss, be at 90% is a great week for me. And I'm 2-0 for today. So yeah, I appreciate anyone that's following me on my journey. I'm just, I'm trying to modify and adjust how I'm doing things, but I really like trading NQ. I think it's been way better for me than ES. And all the things I'm doing in these modifications and doing things like what I did here to get some extra ticks, I think it's all leading me towards hopefully some success in my future. And like I said, I've been trading 3 years and haven't been able 3 years on futures, ES and now NQ. NQ I've only been trading for 2 months now. So I really think like this whole journey I've been on is leading me to where I am now, and I'm starting to see the promise of what I might be able to do. And so it's going to be interesting. You could go back and look at my videos from September and see the progression of what I was trying and changing it. I threw away one system that I was working on and came back to the second entries, but I'm not trading it max style at all, kind of trading completely different. And as you can see, I'm not drawing anything. Even on my other charts that I'm not showing, I'm not drawing anything. The only thing I draw ever are these measured moves. This is the only thing that from Mac I still draw because I believe in those. I see those work consistently time and time again. And so really that's the only thing from Mac that I'm really doing. I've got certain kind of loose rules that I apply, that some of it's based on what I learned from Mac and some of it's based on kind of my own stuff from my own things I've noticed and seen. And yeah, I think I'm on the path now. So I'm getting closer to qualifying for a payout now on PA2. I've virtually erased my loss from last week on that account. And, I'm about, 700 away from qualifying. So trading 2 contracts at a time, I'm about 7 trades away. Hopefully, if I can avoid any losses, I'll be able to do it in about 7 trades. So I think that's going to be it for me for today. I appreciate everyone that's checking this out. 71% discount still going on. You can use this code or any other. And please like and subscribe if you find any of this interesting. I do show all of my trades. I don't take any trades off stream or off YouTube. So everything I'm trading on these Apex accounts is shown every day, and you'll never, see me finish one day and start another day and the numbers not match up. It'll always be exactly where I left off the day before. So thanks again for watching. And and I had someone that commented today during the end of my live stream, and that was really cool. I'd love to have more people interact. I don't have a ton of people checking out the live stream right now. It's pretty, I get like one or two at a time here and there throughout. But for anyone that watches the review, if you ever want to comment or say something or ask me a question or whatever, I'm down to have a conversation. It's cool to talk to other traders. So yeah, that was fun for me today. If you want to check out the live stream back, just go to the very end, and we had a short 10-minute conversation, mostly me talking, but just answer a couple questions, and that was great. So anyone that wants to do that, I welcome it, and I'm always down to talk about trading or talk about what I'm doing. I'm not trying to teach anyone how to trade. I'm still trying to figure out myself. This is just to show my journey. So having said all that, that's a wrap for the day. 2-0, 9-1 for the week. Hoping to finish out the week strong. It's great to have a good week after a not so great last week, where I was like 1-4 to start the week last week, and I think I finished the week 7-4. So it was a pretty budget week last week. So this week is much better. Hopefully I'll finish it out strong and get closer to my payout target on my 1PA there. So that's it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow streaming live. Come check it out during the live, and thanks for following me on this journey. All right, I'm out of here. Bye.